Growing up, I always believed my family was just like any other. We lived in a modest house, and my mom was the kind of person who always had a warm smile ready and a listening ear. Or so I thought. My father had left when I was young, and it had always been just the three of us, my mom, my older brother Jack, and me. Things weren't perfect, but we got by. There were times when we didn't have much, but we were a family, and that was enough, right? That belief began to crumble when I turned 16. My mom started seeing a man named Frank. He was charming, well-spoken, and had a way of making her laugh in a way that made me uneasy. I couldn't quite put my finger on it at first, but something felt off about him. He was always pushing my mom to spend more time with him and less with us. Slowly but surely, I saw less and less of her. She was always out with Frank or talking about him when she was home. And when she did spend time with us, it wasn't the same. She was distant, distracted, like her mind was elsewhere. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Maybe she was in love, and maybe that was a good thing for her. But when Frank started moving in more and more, I couldn't ignore the changes. He began making decisions about our household, decisions that affected me and Jack, and it was as if we didn't even matter. He started making demands, small ones at first, like asking us to clean the garage or to be quiet while he and my mom had company over. But it grew. Frank would be there for family dinners, holidays, everything. And slowly, my mom started withdrawing even more. She no longer asked me about my day, no longer cared about the things I was going through. I was no longer her priority. Things took a darker turn when Frank and my mom got married. I could feel the change in the air. The warmth, the love we once shared as a family, gone. It wasn't just the lack of attention anymore. It was the way she started to talk about me, the way she acted like I was a burden in her life. Frank didn't care for me, and frankly, I didn't like him either. But more than that, I felt abandoned. My mom had chosen him over me, over us, without even a second thought. As the years passed, the wedge between us only grew. I eventually moved out and started living on my own, and though I tried to stay in touch with my mom, it felt like we were strangers. We exchanged obligatory phone calls on holidays, but they were empty, just pleasantries. My mom's focus was always on Frank and later on, his children from his previous marriages. One day, I received a call that would shake me to my core. My mom wanted to talk. When I arrived at her house, she was sitting at the kitchen table, looking unusually serious. She started by asking how I was doing, like the last few years hadn't happened. Then, without much lead-up, she dropped a bombshell. "I need you to help pay for your siblings' college tuition," she said. I was taken aback. "What do you mean, help pay? I didn't even know you were supporting them." "Frank's kids," she explained. "They've been living with us for a while now, and they need help with their schooling. I know you've got a good job now, and we've always supported you. I think it's time you return the favor." I couldn't believe it. My mom, the woman who had pushed me aside for this new family, was asking me for money, asking me to help her fund the future of the very people who had been a constant reminder of how little I mattered. My mind raced. Why should I pay for her new family when she had completely abandoned me? I had worked hard to get to where I was, and not once had she supported me the way she supported Frank's children. "I can't do that," I said firmly. "I don't even know them. I haven't been involved in their lives, and frankly, I don't think it's my responsibility." My mom's face twisted with a mix of frustration and something else I hadn't seen in her before: anger. She stood up abruptly, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. "You don't get to make these decisions. I'm your mother, and you will do this for your family." Her tone was sharp, cutting. I felt a knot form in my stomach. This wasn't the woman I had once known, the one who had always seemed so kind and understanding. This was someone else entirely. Someone who had cast me aside for years and now was demanding something from me, as though all those years didn't matter. I stood up too, my heart racing. "No, Mom. I'm not doing this. You made your choices, and I've had to live with them. I'm not going to support your decision to abandon me and then act like nothing happened." For a moment, there was silence. My mom's face was red with anger, her fists clenched at her sides. "You're being selfish," she hissed. "I've given you everything, and now you turn your back on me when I need you the most." That was it. The years of hurt, the abandonment, the way she had chosen Frank's family over me, it all boiled over in that moment. I couldn't take it anymore. I turned and walked toward the door, but my mom wasn't done. "Don't you dare walk out on me," she screamed, grabbing my arm. "You'll regret this. I raised you. I gave you everything, and you'll repay me for that." I pulled away from her grip, my heart pounding in my chest. You made your choices, Mom. Don't expect me to fix them now. And with that, I left. My hands were shaking, my mind reeling. I had hoped for a moment of reconciliation, for some part of my mom to realize what she had done and how much it had hurt me. But that hope was shattered in an instant. What hurt the most wasn't that she had asked me for money. It was that she had chosen to forget everything I had gone through. It was as if, to her, I didn't matter anymore. I was no longer the daughter she had raised. I was just a means to an end. I don't know what the future holds for me and my mom. I don't know if we can ever repair the damage that has been done. But I do know one thing. I won't allow her to manipulate me into being a part of a family that has never truly been mine. She may have chosen Frank's family over me, but I have to choose myself.